The United Nations has brought in its technical expertise in order to assist the government to develop a model according to international best practices.
Many companies have found that persons with disabilities are more than capable. Yet, while the number of companies willing to explore hiring PWDs is growing, information on how PWDs can be integrated into the workforce is not always readily available.
Okay, Malaysian employers should hire the disabled, whether they come from the public or private sector, because the disabled are also able to provide their skills towards the productivity of a company or towards the economic development of the country. The disabled actually have a pool of talent. They are also skilled. Quite a number of them have gone for training, but are not able to translate that training into employment later on. And this is the issue. It's not only about the fact that they stop at training and are not able to enter employment. So they are there. And it's not that they cannot assist companies to grow, or it's not like they cannot be an input to the government or the government's or country's economic development. It's all about giving them opportunities, because they have the right to make decisions about their own lives as well, and not be just an object of charity.
Well, I can tell you, the first time when we have been approached about this project, my feeling told me that I have a doubt that whether this project can be successful or not. But after we start hiring the candidate and we implement the system that we call a job coach and also the buddy system, the candidate shows a lot of improvement. This proves that this project can be successful in K4 organization.
The employment model encourages the movement of disabled persons into open and competitive employment. It promotes the inclusion and integration of disabled persons in the workforce. Key to its success is the commitment and full support of all parties involved.
The model demonstrates international best practices that have successfully integrated persons with disabilities into the labor force around the world.
A good practice for employers who are interested in hiring the disabled is to conduct an access audit of the workplace.
Well, an access audit is a very important thing to do, because you need to include disabled people in the workforce, and employers can easily do an access audit so that the place will be much more safe and usable and accessible for them, and they could be included in the working community. And one of the things that when you modify something very simple, they, like for example a ramp to the cafe area or the canteen area, they could feel at home and they could be part of the working community, and that would help the problem for disabled people to have equal opportunities like everybody else.
A primary facilitator of the different model components is the job coach.
The job coach is critical to the successful implementation of the model, because the job coach serves as a link between the employer and the employee.
Well, being a job coach for me is very interesting and challenging from what I used to do before. And working with disabled persons allowed me to understand their point of view.
The model is comprised of 6 different components. The first component is job preparation, which is followed by job development, then job match, then we have job placement, and then training, and then the last component of the model is follow-up and/or follow-along.
In the first stage, job preparation, an individual's skills and interests are identified, enabling the job coach to develop an individual's profile.
Kerja apa kamu suka? Saya suka kerja tempat banyak orang bercampur, kawan-kawan baru.
2. With job development, the job coach establishes contact with potential employers and makes a realistic assessment of the types of jobs available. This then enables the job match to take place. Here, the best candidate is identified and selected for a targeted position. 4. Once a job match has been made, the job coach will refer the candidate to the employer. Should the employer agree with the referral, the candidate will then be placed in a job. In job training, the job coach walks the individual through the roles and responsibilities of the job and trains the individual on how to perform these tasks.
The job coach must ensure that the person with disabilities understands the social as well as the behavioral expectations at the worksite. The person with disabilities must be aware of the fact that there are certain types of behaviors that are appropriate, the fact that they need to arrive to work on time, that they need to follow supervisors' instructions, and that they are dressed appropriately every day that they are on the job.
6. Training continues until the individual can perform the job tasks independently. Under follow-up or follow-along services, the job coach continues to provide the needed assistance and support through personal visits and phone calls to both the employee and employer.